Good morning, children. Today we are going to study about solid state. What are the general characteristics of solids? Solids have definite volume and shape. They are rigid and incompressible. They have strong cohesive forces. They have short interatomic, ionic or molecular distances. Their constituent atoms, ions or molecules have fixed positions and can only oscillate about their mean position. We are classifying solids into two different categories, crystalline solids and amorphous solids. The major differences between crystalline solids and amorphous solids are crystalline solids have long range orderly arrangement of constituents, whereas amorphous solids have short range random arrangement of constituents. Crystalline solids have definite shape, amorphous solids have irregular shape. Crystalline solids are anisotropic in nature, that means their value of physical properties are different in different directions, whereas in amorphous solids, the physical property values are same in all directions, so they are called as isotropic, like liquids. Crystalline solids are otherwise called as true solids, whereas amorphous solids are called as pseudo-solids or supercooled liquids. The crystalline solids have definite heat of fusion. Amorphous solids have indefinite heat of fusion. Crystalline solids have sharp melting points, whereas amorphous solids have a range of temperatures and so they can be molded. Examples for crystalline solids are sodium chloride, diamond, etc. Amorphous solids examples are rubber, plastic, glass, etc. Already we have seen that solids are classified into crystalline solids and amorphous solids. These crystalline solids are further classified into ionic crystals, covalent crystals, molecular crystals, metallic crystals, and atomic solids. Crystalline solids are classified into four categories. The first category is called molecular crystals, in which the entire crystal is made up of molecules. The molecular crystals are further classified into three major categories: non-polar molecular crystals, polar molecular crystals, hydrogen bonded molecular crystals. Non-polar molecular crystals are made up of non-polar molecules and the nature of force existing between them is London forces. In the case of polar molecular crystals, the constituent particles are polar molecules and the nature of forces existing between them is dipole-dipole interaction. And in the case of hydrogen bonded molecular crystals, they are all made up of covalent bonds in which hydrogen atom is bonded to fluorine, oxygen or nitrogen. The nature of force existing between the molecule or crystal is hydrogen bonding. Example for non-polar molecular crystal is hydrogen, iodine, carbon dioxide. Polar molecular crystal is hydrogen chloride and that of hydrogen bonded molecular crystal is ice. In the case of ionic crystals, that is the second category, the constituent particles are positive and negative ions and the nature of force existing between the ions is Coulombic force of attraction. Example, you can give sodium chloride. The third category is metallic solids. In metallic solids, the constituent particles are nothing but positive metal ions which are present in mobile electrons. The nature of force existing between them is metallic bonding. You can take example of all the metals like copper, silver, any alloy. The fourth category is called as covalent solid or network solid. They are made up of atoms and the nature of force existing between them is covalent bonding. Example, diamond, graphite, quartz. Crystalline solids are characterized by definite orientation of atoms, ions and molecules relative to one another in three-dimensional pattern. The regular arrangement of these species throughout the crystal is called a crystal lattice. You can see in the diagram, one blue colored cube is shown which is called as unit cell and the same unit cell is actually repeated again and again which makes the entire lattice called space lattice. A basic repeating structural unit of a crystalline solid is called unit cell. What are the characteristics of unit cell? If you see the diagram, you can see A, B, C shown in the diagram which are called as primitives or intercepts. Alpha, beta, gamma are called as interfacial angles. OX, OY, OZ are called as crystallographic axis. Depending on the values of interfacial angles alpha, beta, gamma and the intercepts ABC, 7 types of primitive cells are formed. They are cubic, rhombohedral, hexagonal, tetrahedral, orthorhombic, monoclinic and triclinic. How will you calculate the number of atoms per unit cell in a cubic crystal system? There are 3 types of cubic crystal system dealt here. The first one is simple cubic. You can see in the picture, simple cube is made up of only atoms at the corners. They are placed at the 8 corners of the simple cube, and each corner atom is common to 8 other unit cells. So the number of corner atoms shared is nothing but Nc by 8. That is 1 by 8 into 8 will be equal to 1. There are no face center atom or no body center atom. So the total number of atoms present will be 1. In the case of body center cubic lattice, you can see that there are 8 atoms at the corners and 1 atom at the body center. Number of corner atom is shared by 8 unit cells. So it is 8 by 8 which is equal to 1. And in the case of body center cubic lattice, it's 1 by 1. It is not shared. The body centered lattice ion, the body centered ion is not shared to any unit cell. So Nb by 1 will be equal to 1. If you add these to 1 plus 1, you have 2. If you go for face centered cubic lattice, you can see there are 8 corner atoms and 6 face atoms. Corner atom is shared by 8 unit cells, so 1 by 8 into 8 which is equal to 1. And the case of face centered cubic lattice, you can have each face is shared with 2 unit cells. So Nf by 2 will be equal to 6 by 2 which is equal to 3, or 1 plus 3 is equal to 4. How to calculate the density of the unit cell? Density of the unit cell will be given by the formula rho is equal to mass of the unit cell by volume of the unit cell. Mass of the unit cell is nothing but total number of atoms belonging to that unit cell into mass of one atom. Total number of atoms belonging to simple cube is 1, body centered cubic lattice is 2, and that of face centered cubic lattice is 4. That will substitute there. And the mass of one atom could be calculated using the formula molar mass by Avogadro number. That is, small m will be equal to capital M by Na. If you substitute in mass of unit cell, mass of one atom is actually total number of atoms belonging to that unit cell is given by the formula N. Then mass of one atom is capital M by Na. So mass of the unit cell is N into M by Na. And if the edge lengths are equal, that is A is equal to B is equal to C, then volume of the unit cell will be A cube. Then density of the unit cell rho is equal to small n capital M by A cube into Na. Packing in crystals. In two-dimensional close packing, layers of spheres are arranged in the same manner, one over the other, and you can see that a middle atom is combining with 4 other atoms, that is, its coordination number is 4. In the case of hexagonal close packing, you can see that 2 different types of layers are arranged. We call it as AB type, and the coordination number here is 6. That is, one single atom is actually connected to 6 neighboring atoms, so it's called as the coordination number is 6. In the case of FCC lattice, the coordination number is 12, and that of BCC lattice, the coordination number is 8. Three-dimensional close packing, you can see 2 different pictures. In the first picture, you can see there is a layer consisting of 7 atoms, that is called A layer, above which will place 3 atoms, and the third layer will be similar to that of A, that is first layer. We call it as HCP structure. The second picture, you can see ABC arrangement. First layer has 7 atoms, second layer has actually 3 atoms, and third layer will have 3 atoms, which is actually opposite to that of the second layer. So this type of arrangement is called CCP structure. What are voids? What are the types of voids in CCP and HCP lattice? Voids are nothing but some space or holes created in the sphere of close packed arrangement. Void surrounded by 4 spheres in a lattice is called tetrahedral void. You can see the picture 1. 4 atoms are connecting a hole, that's called as tetrahedral void, and in the second picture, which is given below, 6 atoms are connected, and within them there is a hole. We call it as octahedral void. You should know that The number of octahedral voids generated is equal to n, that is number of spheres. And the number of tetrahedral voids generated will be equal to 2 times n. And radius of octahedral void R0 is equal to 0.414 radius of atom, and the radius of tetrahedral void RT will be equal to 0.225 times the radius of atom. What is packing efficiency? Packing fraction or packing efficiency is nothing but total volume occupied by spheres in the unit cell by volume of the unit cell into 100. That is, when you arrange the spheres in the crystal lattice, there is some free space between the spheres of a single layer and the spheres of successive layers. The percentage of total volume occupied by constituent spheres gives the packing efficiency of that arrangement. Now let us calculate the packing efficiency of a simple cube. You know that in simple cube you can see the picture. There are 8 atoms only at the corners, and the edge length be A. I have shown one edge length with a value A, which is connecting 2 atoms with radius R and R. The cube has a edge length A, so the volume of the cube with edge length A will be A into A into A, which is equal to A cube, that is the denominator. And the radius of the sphere be R. You know that A will be equal to 2R, therefore R will be equal to A by 2. And we know the volume of the sphere with radius R will be equal to 4 by 3 pi R cube. In the place of R, we are going to substitute A by 2. So 4 by 3 pi A by 2 the whole cube will become pi A cube by 8. If you simplify, you get pi A cube by 6. The number of atoms per unit cell in simple cube, already we know that it is equal to 1. So the numerator total volume occupied by the spheres will be 1 into pi A cube by 6, which will be equal to pi A cube by 6. Then packing efficiency, you know that total volume occupied by the spheres by volume of the cube. So pi A cube by 6 whole divided by A cube into 100. So A cube gets cancelled. You have 100 pi by 6 as the packing efficiency. If you substitute the value of pi as 3.16 and simplify, you get 52.31% as the packing efficiency of simple cube. That means only 52.31% of the available volume is occupied by the sphere in the simple cubic packing, making it inefficient use of available space, and hence the attractive force is minimized. Packing efficiency of a body-centered cubic lattice. You can see the picture. In body-centered cubic lattice, you have 8 atoms at the corners and 1 pink atom at the body center. Packing efficiency or packing fraction, we know the formula as total volume occupied by the spheres in the unit cell by volume of the unit cell into 100. In order to calculate the total volume occupied by the spheres in the unit cell, we should consider 2 triangles. You can see there is a triangle at the base touching actually the face diagonal. You can see ABC as one triangle, and ACG is another triangle. AG is the body diagonal and AC is the face diagonal. You consider the triangle ABC taking into account the face diagonal. You know that AC square will be equal to AB square plus BC square, and cube has edge length of A. So AB square will be A square and BC square will also be A square. So AC square in triangle ABC, AC square will be equal to square root of AB square plus BC square, that is A square plus A square square root, which will be equal to root 2A square. That is, when you simplify it, you will have root 2A. Now you take the body diagonal triangle ACG. In triangle ACG, you can see that AG square will be equal to AC square plus CG square, or AG is equal to square root of AC square plus CG square. And already we know that we calculated AC to be root 2A. So you substitute here, AG will be equal to square root of root 2A the whole square plus A square, that is CG value. When you simplify, you get root 3A. But if you see the body diagonal, it connects 3 atoms. The first atom, that is A, from A if you see, the green atom has radius R and the pink atom has got diagonal, that is you have diameter, that it is connecting 2 radius, that is 2R, and you have one more R. So R plus 2R plus R will give you 4R. That is AG is equal to root 3A. Here again you are getting 4R. So root 3a is equal to 4r. Our radius r is equal to root 3 by 4 into a. Now you substitute in the volume of the sphere formula, which is nothing but 4 by 3 pi r cube. In the place of r, we are going to substitute what? Root 3 by 4 into a. If you substitute, you have 4 by 3 pi root 3 by 4a the whole cube. If you simplify, you get the value as root 3 by 16 pi a cube. And for BCC lattice, we know that the number of atoms per unit cell is 2. Now we multiply this volume of the sphere by 2. You get 2 into root 3 pi a cube by 16, which will be equal to root 3 pi a cube by 8. What is packing fraction? Total volume occupied by the spheres in the unit cell by volume of the unit cell. Already we know that it has got all volume or all the edge length equal. So a into a, the denominator will be a cube. So you have packing fraction as root 3 pi a cube by 8 whole divided by a cube into 100. That is root 3 pi by 8 into 100. You will have pi value substituted as 3.14, root 3 value as 1.732. 100 by 8 will give you 12.5. When you multiply all these values, you have 68% as the packing fraction. That is, in the available space, 68% of the volume is occupied. This space is more efficiently packed than in simple cubic packing. Packing efficiency of a face-centered cubic lattice. What is the formula to calculate packing efficiency? You know that total volume occupied by the spheres in the unit cell by volume of the unit cell into 100. And whatever might be the unit cell, we are taking only cubic unit cell. So the denominator will be obviously a cube, because all the edge lengths are same. A into a, the volume of the unit cell in the denominator will be equal to a cube. Now we are supposed to calculate only the numerator, that is total volume occupied by the spheres in the unit cell. If you take a face-centered cubic lattice, you can see that you have got all the 8 atoms occupying the corners and 6 faces are occupying the face centers. Now only one face we are taking into account, in which you can see a triangle which connects the face center. So you have a face diagonal. Take the triangle ABC. The AB value is A and BC value is also A. But AC we have to calculate. So according to Pythagoras theorem, for triangle ABC, AC square is equal to AB square plus BC square, or AC will be equal to square root of AB square plus BC square. That is A square plus A square root will be giving you root 2A. AC value is root 2A. Now if you take only the triangle is touching 3 atoms. So you can add all the radius. R plus 2R plus R will give you 4R. So AC is equal to 4R. Also we calculated AC to be root 2A. So R is nothing but A root 2 by 4. What is the volume of the sphere with radius R? 4 by 3 pi R cube. So in the place of R, we are going to substitute root 2A by 4 as the radius value. So you will get 4 by 3 pi root 2A by 4 the whole cube. When you simplify, you get the volume to be root 2 pi A cube by 24. And total number of atoms per unit cell in the case of face-centered cubic lattice is 4. So you will multiply this volume by 4. So 4 into root 2 pi A cube by 24. When you simplify, you get root 2 pi A cube by 6. What is packing efficiency? You have to divide this volume by volume of the unit cell, which is A cube, into 100. That is root 2 pi A cube by 6 whole divided by A cube into 100. A cube gets cancelled. You have root 2 pi by 6 into 100. Substitute the value of root 2 as 1.414, pi as 3.14 into 100 by 6. You get 74%. And you have to note that packing efficiency of simple cube is 52.4%. Packing efficiency of body-centered cubic lattice is 68%. And that of face-centered cubic lattice is 74%. Higher the value of packing efficiency, higher the stability of the crystal. In order to study the coordination number and shape of the crystal, we must know radius ratio. What is radius ratio? The ratio of radius of cation to the radius of anion in a crystal is called radius ratio. Radius ratio determines the coordination number and structure of the crystal. You know, always the cation is smaller in size and anion is larger in size. So usually when you divide, you will have the radius ratio value below 1. If the radius ratio value is ranging between 0.155 to 0.225, then the coordination number is 3. The structure is trigonal planar. We can give example as B2O3. And if the radius ratio value lies between 0.225 to 0.414, the coordination number is 4. The structure is tetrahedral, and example is zinc sulfide. If it is the range is radius ratio range is 0.414 to 0.732, then the coordination number is 6. The structure is octahedral, example NaCl. If the radius ratio ranges from 0.732 to 1, the coordination number is 8, and so the structure is cubic. You can give example of cesium chloride. What is imperfection in solid? Any deviation from a perfect arrangement of crystal due to increase in temperature or addition of impurity is called imperfection. What is the use of it? It increases the electrical conductivity of a semiconductor material like silicon. Also, it improves the ability of ferromagnetic material such as iron, nickel, etc. to be magnetized or demagnetized, depends on the presence of imperfection. Crystal defects are classified into 4 major categories. Point defects, which are due to missing of ion or atom from its lattice point or presence of foreign particle. Line defects is due to displacement of a row of lattice site. And interfacial defect, the last one is called volume defect. Point defects are classified into 3 major categories as stoichiometric defects, non-stoichiometric defects, and impurity defects. Stoichiometric defects are 2 types, Schottky defect and Frenkel defect. Non-stoichiometric defects are nothing but metal excess defect and metal deficiency defect. Schottky defect is shown by sodium chloride, Frenkel defect by silver bromide, metal excess defect sodium chloride, metal deficiency defect ferric oxide. And the silver bromide shows both Frenkel as well as Schottky defect. Stoichiometric defects are classified into Schottky defect and Frenkel defect. What are the major differences between Schottky and Frenkel defect? Schottky defect arises due to the missing of equal number of cations and anions from the crystal lattice. This defect does not change the stoichiometry of the crystal, and the ionic solids in which the cation and the anion are of almost equal size show Schottky defect. Due to the absence of ions in the crystal lattice, there is lowering of density in the crystal. Example is sodium chloride. If you take Frenkel defect, it arises due to dislocation of ions from its crystal lattice. The ion which is missing from the lattice point occupies an interstitial position. It is not going out of the crystal, but it occupies the interstitial position. This is shown by ionic solids in which the cation and anion differ much in their size. And this defect does not affect the density of the crystal because the ion does not leave the space. It is within the crystal lattice, so it does not affect the density of the crystal. Example is silver bromide. Non-stoichiometric defects are classified in 2 types, metal excess defect and metal deficiency defect. In the case of metal excess defect, it arises due to the presence of more number of metal ions compared to anions. You can see in the picture, one green ball is missing, that is one chloride ion is missing. That means sodium ion, pink ball is excess in the picture. That means one metal ion is excess. Here the electrical neutrality of the crystal is maintained. How? If you take sodium chloride crystal, when you are heating it with sodium vapor, the sodium ions are formed and are deposited on the surface of the crystal. What will happen is the chloride ion diffuses out of the surface from the lattice point and combines with sodium ion and forms sodium chloride. Now the sodium which is heated forming sodium ion leaves one electron into the crystal site. To the vacancy position created by chloride ion, this electron enters. And so such anionic vacancies which are occupied by unpaired electrons are called F centers. Here the formula of sodium chloride which contains excess of Na plus ions can be written as Na1 plus XCl. because one or more metal ions are excess in number, it is non-stoichiometric in nature. Second type of non-stoichiometric defect is metal deficiency defect. Metal deficiency defect, the name itself says, that is one metal ion or more metal ions are missing. That is more number of anions are present in the crystal lattice. Metal deficiency defect arises due to the presence of less number of cations than the anions. It occurs in the case of crystal in which the cations have variable oxidation state. If you take ferric oxide, Fe can have +2 oxidation state as well as +3 oxidation state. Here in this picture, one of the pink ball is missing, that is Fe2 plus is missing from its crystal lattice. And so in order to maintain the charges, positive charges, two orange balls, actually two pink balls became orange balls because the two positive charges are taken up by this nearby Fe2 plus. They acquire additional charge of +1 +1, that is they become Fe3 plus and Fe3 plus. Therefore, to maintain the electrical neutrality, what happens? Twice the number of other Fe2 plus ions in the crystal is oxidized to Fe3 plus ions. In such case, the overall number of Fe2 plus and Fe3 plus ions is less than the oxide ions. It was experimentally found that the general formula of ferrous oxide is FeXO, where X ranges from 0.93 to 0.98. Defects in ionic solids due to adding impurity ions is called impurity defect. If the impurity ion added are in different valency state, for example here strontium 2 plus is added, which is actually +2 in oxidation state, from that of the host, vacancies are created in the crystal lattice of the host. For example, they have given you the example of addition of cadmium chloride to silver chloride, in which case cadmium ion is in divalent state, which occupies the position of silver ion. Here, strontium ion is taking up the position of Na plus ion. What will happen is this will disturb the electrical neutrality of the crystal. In order to maintain the electrical neutrality, proportional number of silver ion must leave from the lattice position. This produces a cation vacancy in the lattice. You can see there are 2, 4, 6, 8 chloride ions. But if you see the metal ion number, don't see the charge. If you see the metal ion 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 only are there. One vacancy is created. But if you count the charge, it is actually equal. That means one of the vacancies created due to the absence of a cation from the host cell. This produces a cation vacancy in a lattice. Such kind of crystal defects are called impurity defects. Thanks for watching. All the best. Post your comments and give your feedback. Thank you.